I'm Michael Moore, and I am the manager of Dark Space Planetarium in Kirkcudbright. We are a small educational charity based in southwest Scotland, and obviously a planetarium, so we're mostly focused on astronomy.
My name is Laura Maxwell and I am a full-time employee. I've always been interested in space, so when I kind of heard there was going to be a planetarium in the town, I was quite excited. Started working in 2021 when we first opened.
I'm also a full-time staff member here. I do pretty much the same stuff as Laura, and I also run the science club.
You regularly have schools visiting, but how else can young people engage with the planetarium?
We've done sort of stargazing things with the youth project that's in the building as well, taking them out to the local park. We've also talked about going to the schools and doing it so that they don't have to get here, and just maybe making it a little bit easier for younger people to be able to engage in this sort of thing.
So outside of education and outside of our regular school trips, we also have Sci Club. First Saturday and third Saturday of each month we have little science experiments on. There's an introduction for kids aged from P4 to S6.
Science club is also partly educational, so we do theory behind all of the experiments.
Tell me about your ongoing internship programme.
So the internship programme is actually really cool. The idea behind that is to get young people, late high school, sort of 16 onwards, much more involved with STEM and to increase their confidence. So getting them to host talks for the public is quite amazing. That also gives them access to talk to academics that are practicing in astrophysics and various other fields that they're especially interested in. I think having a group of young people that actually know how to work the planetarium for us is amazing, because that means that a couple of years down the line we can go, right, hey, here's a longer term post. We will need those people.
Do you view Dark Space Planetarium's work as exclusively tied to STEM, or are there other lenses you view it through?
We are primarily focused on STEM, but I think one of the things nowadays is becoming more of a prominent role as time goes on is STEAM, which is the STEM subject plus art engaged in there as well. As people start to realise that the art sector does have quite a lot to contribute to that, particularly around design. Visually, obviously, is a planetarium, so there is quite a lot of that around the art side of things. One of the things that I've quite liked within the last year is seeing that we're not just attracting STEM customers, we're also starting to broaden our horizons a little bit.
It does cover more than just STEM. We have had more within the creative industries with some of the amazing summer events.
Yeah, we worked with the pottery, and I've done making sun catchers, and the kids can do that and then take them home. I think it's just to make sure everyone can do something. You know, not everybody's really into STEM, so they get the sort of educational side of it, but then they get to make something and take it home with them, and this sort of opens doors to more people, I think.
We aren't just a planetarium. As a musical space, it's quite interesting as well, because we can still use the software that we use for our academic talks and educational talks and use that as a backdrop for bands. We're also using the space more as a cinema. So we've got the Full Dome films, which is the Pink Floyd one, the other one's the Queen one. But those films have done exceptionally well, and they've also brought people who are interested in music into the planetarium who have then gone, oh, I didn't even know this was a thing, and are now coming to different talks as well. So it's that movement from a cultural event into a STEM event and vice versa.
Have you encountered any consistent barriers?
One of the barriers that we are trying to break through is that 18 to 25 age. The planetarium can be viewed as something that's only for kids, but it is also this pretty cool space that can be used for, as we mentioned, music and art events as well, but also just more serious academic talks. So we do have professors coming in and trying to explain things like dark matter to us Luddites.
What are your hopes for the future?
I want to expand more into education areas, workshops into schools.
Hopefully maybe continuing more with events maybe through the week, more specialist sort of groups and things like that, just to keep us going, because we're busy through the summer and we're busy through holidays, but just to make sure that we're always busy and we're going to be able to be here for a long time as well.
The hope for the planetarium is that we kind of become one of many other astronomy-focused organisations in Dumfries and Galloway, but potentially one that can act as a node point between them, a sort of point of communication. Dumfries and Galloway has a whole lot of potential, but we're often scattered across the region so vastly that we don't always get the chance to collaborate. So I think increasing that collaboration with different astronomy groups is something that I'm looking forward to be able to doing in the next couple of years.